afternoon. Today we're going to be hooking up with Pixie Styx, and she's over there in her lovely bedroom.
Hiya! You all right, everybody? Hope everyone's keeping safe.
This is an episode of Desert Island Vids. So we're going to ask Pixie some questions and we'll just see where this goes. So Pixie Styx, is that what your mum called you?
No, my mum still won't call me that. It's a point of some contention. So if you know my birth name, only very close family are allowed to call me that.
Whereas Eagle's had to come out with his name. So a lot of people are now calling him the G word, and he doesn't even respond to it. It's just like, it's strange. So Facebook land has outed everybody. People who we've known for years as something daft have actually got their real name up, and we're staring at them and thinking, fucking hell, that's who you are.
I've had a few people where that's happened to them, and I'm like, I actually don't know this person. Have I just ended up with a random on my Facebook who I don't know? But fortunately, I did a little bit of fundraising for Maggie's, and they sent me a letter with Pixie Styx on it. So when somebody reported me to Facebook. By the way, what kind of saddos go around reporting people's names on Facebook? I can't see any way that that's beneficial to anybody. Small-minded people do small-minded things. But yeah, I had a letter, so I just sent them a letter. So just get on their computer, fake up a letter, Photoshop somebody else's head onto it. NHS, that'll do. I bet that it's really easy to find an NHS letterhead. I've got a couple. I can leave them 2 meters away from your door.
So the first time I met you, I think, was at Emmanuel House.
Yes, when I fell in love with your bosoms.
You've got a reason.
Tit sisters, it's wonderful. Yeah, I was bawling my eyes out. And you gave me one of the best hugs I've ever had. And I immediately knew I liked it. 100%.
That's definitely what they're for. So we're not going to do bosom for a pillow, but what's your first song then, Pixie?
My first song is Ladylike by Storm Large. I did a cover of this for uni before I started getting any of my own songs banned, and the number of times it says fucking it, I'm quite surprised that they didn't ban me from that one. Yeah, I found out about Storm on a TV show with Dave Navarro presenting it, who I also think is very pretty. And then Storm come bumbling onto the stage, just an absolute ball of energy. And I was like, I want to be like this bird. Now, during time, I just stopped doing all my musical theatre stuff in Nottingham, moved to Luton, and I fell in with a crowd of people who was introducing me to real music and taking me to real places. I'd never seen a mosh pit before I moved to Luton. So it kind of came at a time when I was moving away from Steps and Glee, finding out about the real world, and that encapsulates it for me.
Fantastic. Girl power. Bless your heart. So, your song will be up in the links, Eagle just reminded me. But you're kind of an oddity, aren't you? Because when I first saw you sing, to look at you before you start singing, you make assumptions about what Pixie's going to sing, in what style, and about what. And that certainly isn't true when it comes to Pixie. So why not? Why the mishmash?
Well, I don't see it as a mishmash. I see it as genuinely being true to myself. I've gone through a period of being told I'm things that I'm not, which I find quite interesting, because it seems the more comfortable and secure I become with who I am as a person, the more people want to attach these other labels to me. So for a long time I thought that folk was a swear word. It's got 4 letters and it starts with an F and ends with a K. So I would be slagging Big Man off for being a Morris dancer, and then when he went out to work a night shift, I'd be listening to his Show Van CDs obsessively. Then I've spent a lot of time recently arguing with people about whether or not I'm a punk. Opinion seems to be split. I've been saying I'm not, but I'm starting to come around to maybe there are elements of punk that are very much me. I very much like DIY. I very much like opening your mouth if you've got something to say. And standing up for the underdog is something I've always done. I was the queen of the misfits when I was at school, and nobody messed with my people. So yeah, I suppose the war paint and the hair, I've always liked having my shave sides on my head. I had it when I was a Viking, and I had my dreadlocks before the Viking show came out, and everybody thought reenactors was just trying to rip it off. I know that sounds a bit hipster, but there we go. And I think the other thing was, my dad was quite strict when I was growing up. I grew up in a Baptist church. I was 3 days old the first day I went to church. And when I got to 16 and they started telling me that my lifestyle choices weren't supported by the Bible or the community, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go and hang out on the gay scene instead, which was wonderful for my personal development. But my dad didn't like us wearing makeup or revealing clothing at any age. So basically, as soon as I moved out, the only way I knew how to do makeup was the stage makeup that I'd been allowed to wear when I was being a theatre brat. So I'd go out on town looking like a drag queen. And I realised if you just go to gay bars, it's fine. You can look like a drag queen, it's not a problem. But I still like that. I think if you want to do something when you're a child and you're not necessarily given the opportunity to do so, you make yourself promises. And one of my promises was, when I'm a grown up, I will do whatever I want to do with regards to makeup, and I'll have fun with it. So that's what it's about.
Excellent. Go girl. So what's your next song?
My next song is A Good Pair of Boots by Jess Silk. So I heard about Jess through We Should Overcome, and I've been basically YouTube stalking her. This song really resonated with me because I spent most of 10 years either homeless, sofa surfing, or in really short-term tenancies with slum landlords. So there have been times when I had an awful lot of walking to do to get to the place where I could get food, or, you know, I've eaten off, so I'm going to go and stay at the house that's got internet, or, you know, I've done everything I want to do online, so I'm going to the house where they always got fags for me. And yeah, I'd sing little bits and pieces of songs to myself, some which developed into songs that people now know. And I could just imagine when I was hearing Jess sing that she was having the same kind of experiences when the germ of that started to turn itself into a song in her head.
I love that song. Fantastic choice. Go on, Pix. So I think what's close to our hearts and something that I've been seeing more on social media is you and I have been blessed enough to know that people are intrinsically good, and that when the chips are down, you know who's on your side. And I've been privileged enough to be either both the recipient of and been able to help somebody. And I think more and more as this virus, this isolation thing continues, people are going to realise that what matters is other people. And certainly with my work with the homeless, I understood very early on that it's not a certain class of person or a certain type of person. And I started out 30 years ago when a lot of the people were just addicted to alcohol. And I say just, but not meaning it lightly. And I think now it's much more of a complex problem. And it's about the fact that people aren't allowed to be themselves, that they feel that they can only not shave their legs if they're not going out, because everybody has this idea of perfection. And I think we've both been fortunate in that respect to be able to see the good in other people dished out to us. So as somebody who suffers seizures, as somebody who is an artist who can't really perform at the moment in front of people, how are you coping during this isolation?
Boy, hard-hitting question there, that one. Well, first of all, let me introduce everybody to my lovely moustache that I'm growing. I wouldn't say the seizures are my biggest part of my health challenges. I think my mental health is something that I find much more difficult to deal with. And weirdly enough, I haven't had a single seizure since we've gone into lockdown. And I know what that's about. Yay! It's great, but one of my biggest triggers with that is stress. And you'd think it's a stressful time, but it's not the immediate in-your-face kind of stress.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned, but I'm trying to do things to fill the time. And that's a lot easier to deal with from a health perspective. The mental health's a bit more challenging. I'm really blessed to be in a situation where there's 4 of us who live in this house. So I'm not getting absolutely sick and tired of nobody to talk to or nothing to do. The internet's a wonderful thing. I seem to have weirdly become a 50s housewife. This morning I've canned 11 jars of apple butter. I started getting a veg box. I'm making sauerkraut this afternoon. My great-grandma will be very pleased about the fact that I'm planning to clean my front step. I've got an excellently clean front step. She was very well known for it. But part of it is this being there for other people as well. I look after my dad. He's not been very well, so I've been able to know that I'm doing something very practical to support someone I love very dearly, and at the same time being able to do things like, so far I've done one live stream for Punk for the Homeless, took a few quid in the pot for Compass Children's Charity. I think that's an amazing cause, and it's easy right now to get really caught up about what's going on in your own house, because that's what all most of us are seeing. But luckily, because of the internet and because of the work that you guys are doing, we get to be aware of the fact that there's places where the impact is much harder than we're feeling here. I think, oh gosh, you know what? I went to make mash the other day and I only had 3 scabby potatoes. Oh, okay. Like, that might be difficult compared with the rest of my life, but it's not as difficult as seeing Cece and the girls and having to put extra buckets of water out. It's like, we can do a lot more to look after ourselves a lot more easily. So it's really important that where we can, we're looking after people who can't.
Bless you. Yeah. I came back from shopping earlier and had a bit of a sob because you, like me, I'm struggling with the fact that I want to make it better. I want to make it better for people out there. I want to be out there helping everybody if I can. And when I stand in a queue doing effectively 4 people shopping and the person in front of me has bought the kids, I'm thinking, what is this? Is this a trip to a theme park or something? What the fuck? The man on the checkout says, oh, I've had 2 heart attacks, I shouldn't be here, and they're all putting me at risk. Anybody had thought there'd been a newsflash saying it's all over. And so I want to go and bang their heads together, because which part of stay the fuck at home are people not getting? So in equal measure, it's making me frustrated and sad.
One thing I'm finding particularly challenging with that is, over the years, I've got really, I've become more aware that some of the people you might label as tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists have actually got some truth to speak. And I'm kind of caught because I'm seeing people going, oh yeah, fuck the system, I'm gonna go and have a picnic. And it's like, all right, yeah, the government are using the situation to take more control, but if people weren't acting like wankers, would we have given them the right to be able to take that power away from us? And I think, you know, you can still stay at home and talk to your radical friends and make your radical plans, and then as soon as it's safe and it's not going to kill grandma, then go and have a riot and go and burn shit if that's what you want to do. But can we not just, for people's lives, just stay in for a little bit? Or is your life really that boring?
Well, mine isn't. I mean, in one respect, I'm loving it, Pixie, like you. I've never got enough time at home to sort shit, and now I don't have to tidy up between sorting shit because I ain't going nowhere and nobody's coming here, so it don't fucking matter.
I saved an awful lot of time by not having a bath for a week and just wearing the same muumuu. Yeah, I fucking think by the end of it, but it was only my housemates who had to deal with it, yeah?
You're not a Cookie Monster.
No, well, I was saving the Cookie Monster because of my piss-related disaster with the Cookie Monster last time. I thought I'm just keeping it clean and dry and away from the toilet until I do my next live stream on Sunday.
Go on then, Pix. What's your last track?
My last track, right. When I spoke to my housemate and said I was doing this is a housemate who I've been close friends with this person since I was 17. And he said to me, you've got to do something skunk and answer. And I was like, oh, it's a real bloody hard choice. It was the first band I fell in love with when I decided that guitars and drums were actually a good combination, and that, yeah, 4-part harmonies on an auto-tune wasn't where it was at. So, yeah, Skin just immediately grabbed me. Her voice, the words that she used, the fact that she was the first person I really identified with, who as a woman was just saying, fuck it, these things happen, life is life, sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's fucking disgusting, but you've got to own it, you've got to accept that it's all a part of the experience, and, you know, the stars don't look bright without a dark sky. Then I thought, I can't pick between a Skunk and Nancy song, so I went for Maxim featuring Skin, Calm and Queasy. And it's a slightly odd thing for me to not be off my tits when hearing this song, but I listened to it probably for the first time sober ever earlier when I was deciding which videos to go for. So yeah, completely unadulterated is a great song.
And you get to watch the beautiful Skunk and Nancy.
To be fair, everything's beautiful about her, but this video is so well shot. The makeup, the lighting, yeah, love it. Go and enjoy it.
Yeah, we would anyway. All right then, Pix. Take care. Give our love to the big man. Look after yourself.
Stay safe.
Love
See
you.
you soon.